Japan's nuclear regulator has ordered the operator of Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant to remove radioactive wastewater from underground tunnels. High levels of radioactivity have been detected in wells at the site and an adjacent port since May. The utility admitted last week that contaminated water from the facility is leaking into the sea.
Colander in the sink and just slowly pour the water into it.
The Nuclear Regulation Authority also told Tokyo Electric Power Company that highly radioactive wastewater in the plant's underground tunnels could seep through gravel beneath one of them. The contaminated water is believed to be coming from turbine buildings connected to the tunnels. The structures are highly contaminated as large amounts of water have been used to cool nuclear fuel in nearby reactor buildings. Tokyo Electric says it will start injecting chemicals into the gravel to block the water. It says it will decontaminate the water by circulating it through a purifier from September and drain the tunnels from next April.
原発以外にもお聞きしたいんですけども、原発の件で一つ言っておくと、私は北千住で最後の日に演説されたのを聞きに行かせていただいたんですけども、山本さんおっしゃる中で一つやっぱり気になったのは、今もおっしゃってましたけど、その民放のテレビがね、スポンサーの関係で全然本当のこと言えないっていうのは、それはもう全然間違ってまして、ニュースの現場では民放であろうとスポンサーのことを気にせず放送して取材してるわけですよ。でそこはやっぱりちょっと見解を改めていただきたいということと、それと街頭演説を聞いててね、思ったのは、ものすごく国会活動の中での原発の割合っていうのはどれぐらいの感じでやっていかれる予定なんですか。やっぱり原発一本でやれるんですかね。
ごめんなさい。あとどれぐらい喋れますか。1分ぐらい。1分ぐらい喋れる。わかりました。先ほどのスポンサーに影響されないって話ですけど、それは僕いろんな筋からも聞いてて、僕自身出れなかったこととかもありますので、やっぱり今不況の時代にやっぱりこのコマーシャルをなくしたくないっていう部分がある。でやっぱりそこの影響は確実にあるものだと思います。というのは、例えば食品の安全基準、1キロあたり100ベクレル、これみんなにこの国が与えた僕たちの食品の安全基準ですよね。その内容っていうのが、1キロあたり100ベクレルは放射性廃棄物と同等だってことはテレビからは伝わってないですよね。やっぱこの被爆っていうことに対してタブーが、これはもっと気にしていいことなんですよ。僕たちの命に関わることなんだから。
はい、この後もちょっとつなげてみます。山本さん、時間がなくなってきたんですが、国会での情報発信期待しておりますので頑張ってください。
期待してますね。頑張って。
今聞こえた。ありがとうございます。もう終わったかと思った。
昔おはらさで暴れた時が懐かしいですね。
出してくださいね。
わかりました。
Analysts at Japan's Environment Ministry have been monitoring efforts to clear the debris created by the disaster 2 years ago in northeastern Japan. They say almost 75% of it has now been removed. The earthquake and tsunami produced almost 16 million tons of debris in the 3 worst-hit prefectures. Local officials had taken away around 12 million tons of it by the end of June. Officials in Miyagi and Iwate Prefecture are expected to finish their clear-up work by next March. But there's more work to do in Fukushima Prefecture. Officials there have cleared about half of the debris. They've been hampered by high radiation in areas close to the crippled nuclear plant. People in Japan's disaster-stricken areas have put great store in promises that their communities will be rebuilt. Oh my God. But officials now say more than 1/3 of last year's budget for recovery from the March 2011 disaster went unused. This suggests the work has not been going smoothly. Government officials allocated about $97 billion in reconstruction funds for the fiscal year that ended in March. About 65% of the money was spent. Officials of the reconstruction agency say the planning of rebuilding and radiation decontamination projects took more time than expected. They pledged the unused funds will still be used for reconstruction.
just think funny things.
Another claim of data manipulation has emerged for drug maker Novartis in Japan. A clinical study on their blood pressure drug is being challenged. GK University Medical School announced the results of its probe into Novartis Pharma's drug Diovan. The investigation panel says the study contains data on blood pressure that does not match the original clinical records. The panel believes the data was not altered by the school's researchers. It says the study was carried out by a former official of Novartis Pharma. But the panel criticizes the researchers, saying they falsely reported the pharmaceutical company did not participate in the study. The former company official was involved in Diovan clinical tests at a number of medical schools. Earlier this month, Kyoto Prefectural University of Medicine said its clinical study may have wrongly concluded that the drug is more effective than other medications in reducing brain strokes and angina. Novartis Pharma used the results of the clinical study to promote Diovan. Annual sales of the drug in Japan were worth about $1 billion.
A month's worth of rain fell in some parts of western Japan on Sunday. The downpour led to flooding and landslides. It killed one person, with at least 3 others still missing. The deluge saw more than 100 millimeters of rain per hour fall on parts of Yamaguchi and Shimane prefectures. A 79-year-old woman died when her home collapsed. More than 200 millimeters of rain lashed the coastal region to the north of the 2 prefectures in 24 hours. The water level of rivers has been rising in Ishikawa Prefecture, and there is danger of flooding. Residents in parts of the northern island of Hokkaido have also seen heavy rains.
What's the worst that could happen when you get out there and try? You know your life suddenly just end in the blink of an eye. So what's the worst that could happen? You could try, you could fail. You gotta gamble, you gotta take chances. Oh, don't spend your whole life chasing that white whale. Don't spend your whole life. What's the worst that could happen? What's the very, very worst? In order for the worst to happen, you gotta do something first. What's the worst that could happen? So you end up all alone, out on the street, sleeping on a mattress, a complete unknown. What's the worst that could happen? You feel sad a couple days. You pick yourself up, bow your head and give thanks, and then you're on your way. And then you're on your way. What's the worst that could happen? Was the very, very worst. In order for the worst to happen, you gotta just do something first. So, what's the worst that could happen? When you get out there and try, you know your life could suddenly just end in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. Well,
Hope you enjoyed that song. I'm going to be out of internet range